And thank you for coming. Auntie Sarah, oh, there she is. Yeah. So, Auntie Sarah is my very bestie friend Shivani's mum, and as one of our allies, she generously offered her home this evening for this space, because in discussing the concept with both attendees and panelists over the last few weeks, we wanted to have a safe space where we could share openly and create intimacy between the attendees and the sharers. But at the end of the night, I think everybody's going to be a sharer, more or less.
Excuse me a second.
So I really want to thank Auntie Sarah, Shivani, and Uncle W. Thank you guys.
Dogs, I banished him with the dogs.
And for you. And just to give the context again for some of the faces I don't know. We are. Yes.
I just had a little audio problem here. I don't want to lose the information.
Now, just while Maria does that, you all won't be recorded or filmed per se, maybe your audio, but the idea behind this is to document some of the takeaways from the community, because too often we lose our past, and we actually explored that in the screening of Visible yesterday, that we don't know our history, and we're going to use this as archival footage so that in future events or spaces like this we can, you know, learn more about what has gone, and we're going to continue doing this kind of documentary work. So we have with us, so while Mirza, should I just go ahead and introduce?
Go ahead, sorry, I'm trying to solve the problem here.
So the context for all of this is we are in the month of, well, 5 weeks and a half of Pride, and what does that really mean for Trinidad and Tobago? Some of you may know that Pride has been celebrated for almost 3 decades in this country, and others don't know that fact, and therein lies a slight challenge. The concept of being proud has a corollary to it, of course. It's like a double-edged sword, because the more visible you are and the more open you are, sometimes the more vulnerable you might feel, because you don't have the private covers and, you know, the dark spaces we sometimes find ourselves in to protect us from the detractors. But in 2018, with all of the great work that has been done in the last 30 years, and even more recently in the last 18 to 24 months, a couple of us came together and thought it best to re-engineer Pride. So 2018 became that moment, and we developed an entire calendar of events. And in that calendar of events, the idea was at first to keep it to 1 week, and some of us agreed that it would be better to have it for a protracted period of time, because strategically, one, there are a number of issues and interests and subsections in the community that need to be serviced, and sometimes some are overlooked in the interest of those that are in the majority. And if we give in to that, we will actually be giving in to what happens to us as a microcosm of the wider society. So we want to remove the same prejudices that we face from within our own community. Secondly, there is a parade on the 28th of July, as you all may know by now, and a number of security and safety concerns were raised because, again, of how public this is going to be. And the strategy is that if over the next few weeks we can demonstrate to people that it's safe to congregate and to have spaces and to speak your truth, then more people will feel more comfortable to come out to the parade and the fair on the 20th. So those were the two overriding strategic issues. Tonight's engagement, as the name suggests, Generation G.A.P, G.A.P, is a play, of course, on that acronym that some of us might remember when the clothing brand G.A.P first came out, and people thought it stood for something. But more importantly, it is an acknowledgement that there is a physical, a temporal, if you will, but also a mental and emotional distance that exists between generations in our community. And again, I have heard only the last few weeks from younger people that they don't identify with icons and role models in the community. They don't know who these people are, and they are just going about their business. And when they hear people talk about pioneers in the community, that has no resonance for them. Part of that is because of how our elders have treated with the community and themselves, understandably, but part of it is also from the younger side, not reaching out sometimes and not being interested enough in learning about your own history. And I fall somewhere in the middle. So this particular session was very important to me. And I want to thank our panelists who agreed. I don't know how, did I have to bend your hand a lot?